guys, it's Naseem here. Now, after using the iPhone 14 Pro for over a month now, there was one simple statement that I think explains the 14 Pro pretty perfectly. And despite what most critics say, based on my personal experience, I think that the iPhone 14 Pro is still one of the best phones that you can buy. Now, after using the iPhone 14 Pro for a month, I think that it's safe to say that it's an amazing phone that many people will enjoy. It has a very smooth yet premium looking display. It has new innovative features that enhance the user experience. It has a really good battery that was able to last me all day, and it has a very powerful chip that exceeds many of its competitors. And even though I think that the iPhone 14 Pro is an amazing phone to get, I wanted to share my experience with you guys to help you decide whether or not it's actually worth buying. But before I do that, I want to give a shout out to today's sponsor, Mouse. Now, Mouse is a company that specializes in premium cases that's aimed towards top tier security while also giving a sense of style with exquisite materials. And the reason that I prefer Mouse cases is because I shoot videos with my phone, so there are many situations where I'm dropping it, taking it on and off my tripod, and even getting it soaked in water, and the Mouse case has protected my phone every single time. And right here we have the AMOLED fiber case, and this is by far my favorite case for the iPhone. It's engineered to be MagSafe compatible, so you won't have to compromise anything if you do use MagSafe. It has the ultimate impact protection with shock defensive technology, a high yet protective camera bump, and also has ultra rigid materials. It has a range of refined backplates and a sleek yet stylish design. It has the microfiber lining to protect the glass backs, and last but not least, it has ripple grip ribs and double wrist strap eyelets to stop you from dropping your phone in the first place. And with all the benefits of getting a Mouse case, you can also get 15% off when you enter the code below, and don't worry, it'll also be in the description and comment section of today's video. And again, I wanted to thank Mouse for sponsoring a portion of today's video, and also a huge thank you to them for protecting my phone. Now let's get back to the video. Now the iPhone 14 Pro has a 6.1 inch Super Retina XDR display that I must say felt exactly the same as the iPhone 13 Pro. My favorite thing that I loved about the screen was that it had a 120Hz refresh rate, so that added to the overall smoothness when I scroll through the OS. Now when it comes to size, it's all preference, but I would definitely say that the 14 and 14 Pro are the most comfortable when holding in hand. I didn't have to stretch out my fingers too far to reach the screen. I could still see everything very clear because it's still pretty big, and it was the overall right fit for me. It wasn't too small and it wasn't too big. I also really like the responsiveness of the 14 Pro. Like whenever I would scroll through the OS, play games, and even customize my home screen, I never got any lag, and the screen overall kept up that great consistency. The screen was much brighter than last year. Apple has finally decided to bump up the display to over 2000 nits, so if you're outside and turn the brightness up, you'll see everything very clearly. And now the last aspect of the display that I really liked was how great it looked whenever I was watching movies, playing games, and scrolling through the OS. Like right here, you can see me watching videos on it, and you can just see how colorful and vibrant the display is. I also really enjoyed how quality the resolution was. And to give you guys an idea of how good the screen was, I'm gonna watch a video and play a game.
Under their belt, coming in from last year, finishing 8th, obviously not earning that playoff position, but a lot of guys with a lot of experience.
Now the iPhone 14 Pro has a 3000 mAh battery that I will say held up pretty well when compared to other smartphones in the market. I will have about 6 to 8 hours of on-screen time, which was pretty heavy usage since I was also shooting videos. And on days where I would shoot video, I would end my day with about 10% battery left, which was really good since recording takes up most of my day. And on days where I would use my 14 Pro like a regular phone, I would end my day with about 30% battery left, which was a good enough difference for me. The charging was something that I did have a problem with. Whenever I would charge it up during the day, it would take forever to get to 100%, which made everything harder. And another thing that I would say sucked was the wireless charging speeds. When compared to my other phones, the 14 Pro would take longer for me to connect it because of the really big camera bump. There were many times where I had to position it at a weird angle and the speeds were much slower. Now the software on the 14 Pro was as smooth as ever. I rarely got any lags, but whenever my phone would heat up, that's where I would experience slowness of the device. But when it wasn't hot, the 14 Pro still maintained that consistency, and that's why it was an enjoyable device. I also really loved how it was able to handle power heavy apps. Whenever I was playing games, the game ran really well and was still able to stay really smooth and get the job done. iOS 16 was definitely the most enjoyable part of the 14 Pro's experience for me. Every day I found myself changing my wallpapers because of how easy it was. My favorite thing that I liked was the lock screen. You can see that whenever I put a new wallpaper, I can edit it and add more widgets to give the lock screen more depth. Now something that I did love was the pill notch. Even after a month of use, it still held up really well. I didn't get any lags and it was still functioning the same as the first day I got it. And now one thing that I didn't like about the pill notch is whenever I'm screen recording something, someone who doesn't have the 14 Pro or the Pro Max will see the pill in the display, which was really annoying for people who don't have the newer phones. But besides that, there were little animations that I liked about the pill notch, and even though it's not the most useful thing on the 14 Pro, it still adds to little things that will help you in many situations. And again, I have to give Apple a pat on the back because of how connected I'm able to stay with my other devices. Like for those who don't know, I shoot my videos on my iPhone, so whenever I'm done shooting, all I have to do is airdrop my videos to my MacBook, and it makes the process so much easier. And again, the software handled really well. Even after 1 month, the 14 Pro was able to keep up that consistency, not only within the display, but also within the software. Now, when compared to the 14 Pro Max, I would say that the speakers are a little lower in volume. The bass is still a little weak, but that's usually a common problem within iPhones and most smartphones as a whole. But besides the bass not being that great, I will still say that the overall sound quality was really good. Music sounded nice, videos were very loud, and the speakers overall enhanced my viewing experience because they were just that good. And to give you guys an idea of how the speakers sound, I'm going to play a video so that you can see how loud they are. Now when it comes to camera, the iPhone 14 Pro is one of the best in the game, and if I'm being honest, that's not much of a surprise because they're basically the same as the 13 Pro. The pictures always came out colorful, vibrant, very sharp, and didn't give me any shutter lag, which made the camera even more practical when compared to other smartphones in the market. And when we look at the daytime outside photos, I would say that these were easily the best in the game. I liked how my skin looked when taking selfies. I liked how the colors were very accurate, and I really liked how nice the skies looked when taking long range photos. And again, looking at all of these photos back to back, I again liked how consistent they were. Like every photo looked like it came from an actual camera, and it gives off a very natural vibe. Now when we look at the daytime inside photos, I would say that these were just as consistent as the outside pictures. Even when the lighting wasn't as good, I was still able to get really good photos, which really says a lot about the iPhone's cameras. My skin looked really nice without the graininess, different objects still maintain that signature sharpness, and the overall pictures came out very natural while adjusting to that environment. And when it came to video quality, the 14 Pro had one of the best to offer, and to give you guys an example, here's some videos that I took on it. And there it is, you guys, my review on the iPhone 14 Pro. Now let me know down in the comments, would you get the iPhone 14 Pro over the 13 Pro? Let me know. And if you guys made it to the end of this video, I would like to say thank you for sticking around, and don't forget to like the video and subscribe, it will be very appreciated. And as far as social media, you can follow me on Twitter and Instagram, and I will see you guys on the next one. Peace.